We're currently in the midst of an unprecedented global crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Whilst this presents many short-term challenges, it also leads to opportunities for our research community to respond positively in both the short and the medium term. Researchers at Bath have a vast amount to offer in this context, and together with other initiatives we're now launching this virtual Sandpit in response to COVID-19. Our aim with this Sandpit is to bring the whole research community together to find new research teams and innovative ideas in order to respond to the current funding calls and also to the crisis more generally.
Clearly, in these difficult times, we're not able to organise a physical sandpit. But fortunately, No Innovation have been working on methods of delivering virtual sandpits for quite some time. And this is the ideal time in which a virtual sandpit is absolutely the correct approach to try to develop interdisciplinary ideas. Make no mistake, these sandpits are challenging. They attempt to create an environment in which people can allow their more creative approaches to research to come to the forefront, to take people out of their comfort zone, to try to embrace innovative ideas which may emerge from other disciplines and find ways in which our own expertise and research ideas can be made to complement those and add to those and contribute to an overall project vision. This has to be done quickly. There are many calls out there. Obviously, the response to the current crisis needs to be implemented as quickly as possible, and hence we have to have an accelerated process. We are supported in this by No Innovation. We're supported in it by a team of committed academics, and we are supported in this by support from RIS, Research and Innovation Services within the university.
About 15 years ago, I was involved in developing the original methodology, which became the Sandpit. During the intervening time, that methodology has been introduced to many funding agencies around the world and has proved to be a really successful way of stimulating interdisciplinary science and research. About 5 years ago, we became interested in how we might be able to use the emerging computer networks to be able to support that kind of collaboration when people were separated by distance or it just wasn't appropriate or possible for them to be able to meet for 4 or 5 days. More recently, we developed some software tools to support that, and it had been our intention by the end of this year to make that more generally available. Obviously, the current situation has forced us to advance that, and it was fortunate that we had been experimenting with these tools and virtual sandpits for about the last 18 months. In fact, while I'm recording this, we're running the first National Science Foundation 5-day Ideas Lab purely virtually, and in the last 6 months, we've run a number of the elongated versions that we're inviting you to be involved in, where over a period of a few weeks, people meet, develop ideas, and form them into proposals. Now, the underlying methodology hasn't actually changed that much. What really counts in a sandpit is to get diverse groups of people engaging in conversations that hadn't happened before, with the intention of stimulating novel, exciting science. Obviously, using technology makes the process different, but from our experience so far, it actually looks as though it can be in many ways more inclusive and certainly more compatible with the other demands that we all have on our time.
The Sandpit itself will focus on 2 themes. First, therapeutic innovations. In the short term, we have considerable expertise in therapeutic innovation to monitor, detect, treat and mitigate COVID-19. The questions are, how can we best organise ourselves to lead research projects in these areas, and how can we maintain the distinctive focus on our interdisciplinary research expertise? Second, and possibly in the medium to longer term response, the circular economy. Societies around the world will have transformed themselves in response to the disruptive nature of the COVID-19 pandemic. This means that there may well be renewed confidence in our ability to respond to global threats, and also a renewed willingness to consider transformative solutions. The pandemic has made clear the need to change models of production, supply and consumption of vital commodities. In the light of these opportunities, how can we develop and implement sustainable and circular technologies that enable our recovery, and also mitigate future threats? How can we ensure that recovery recognises the ongoing climate emergency, particularly as we emerge from this crisis? These are all questions which we, as a university research community, can help to answer positively.
I encourage you to sign up to join this event, and particularly if you're not entirely sure whether you should be part of this conversation. And I mention that because it's the people at the edges of the conversation who, more often than not, are the ones who stimulate interesting novel ideas.
There is no commitment early on, but we hope and we think that you will become immediately aware of the power of this process and the opportunity this process may offer for you